She was going to stay. I'm going to stay and run for re-election, but the 911 calls equals 0.0 support from the party. So an update coming up here in a couple seconds. Mike North, you hear him every Sunday night at 9 o'clock right here, and you can watch his daily 30 and 5 video commentary at 560WIND.com. Sponsored in part by Altoff Industries, residential heating and cooling at 800-225-2443. I think it was not really a big surprise that Tony La Russa decided to bag it, go out on top. You agree with that, Mike?
I do. How you guys doing? And before we go on, John, I'd like to just give condolences to Tom Less, who is one of the founders and the head of Altoff Industries, who lost his father, if I can, real quick. And
sure.
To those people there, condolences to the Less family and the Altoff family. On top of everything else, though, I wasn't surprised he retired, John. But do you think, guys, he retired also because of that other game? Tony La Russa, earlier in the series, by admission, lost complete control, forgot some things that he didn't know who was warming up in the bullpen. I think that made him think about maybe retiring. We're here in August. I don't buy that. But then he wins it. So now he goes out on top, and it's the perfect way to go out. He won a World Series once every 11 years. If you tell somebody you're going to win 3 World Series, you got it. Plus, he made the playoffs on a consistent basis. And when he was with the White Sox, I remember here in this town, we couldn't wait to get rid of him because he was a novice. He hadn't cut his teeth yet completely. Then he goes to Oakland, and he established a legacy that's going to make him a Hall of Fame manager.
You know, he was within, 35 wins of becoming number 2 all-time.
Right.
But you know, when you win the World Series, that's enough. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's another thing. What the White Sox are great at this. Let's bring in Tony La Russa now. I wonder if, Reinsdorf knew something earlier. I mean, if he is going to make himself available and he was tired and maybe he made the decision too quickly and maybe he's burnt out, maybe Reinsdorf tells him, take about 2-3 weeks off and maybe we hire La Russa as the manager for the Chicago White Sox. The triumphant return home. All I keep hearing is Reinsdorf's close with Tomei, he's close with Ventura, he's close with Baines, and he's close with La Russa. What do they all have in common? They were all sent somewhere else, and then they come back after they're done playing.
So what role is he going to have with the White Sox?
If he does have a role, I'd have to say he's going to be a consultant. And you know what? Once again, that's great. And it will help Robin Ventura. You can't ask for a better guy, but is he going to sell tickets? And that's what the White Sox have to do at the end of the day. They can't have a season average of 24,000 in the third biggest market. So they got to figure out a way to sell tickets. But La Russa will bring credit to the White Sox organization, and he'll be there for Robin Ventura if indeed he is hired by the White Sox.
Do you want to sell tickets? The White Sox moved to Bolingbrook. They sell out every night.
Well, yeah, back in the day, if they had gone to Addison, I think even the people in Addison would say now is a mistake that they basically did not come to terms with Jerry Reinsdorf. There's no question if they had been out there. But then again, when you're 8-9 miles from Wrigley Field and you're averaging 39,000, which is 15,000 more than the White Sox, but that doesn't come to terms, John and Amy, with the radio and with the TV revenue, which is both down considerably. Under 100,000 listen to the White Sox nightly. 300,000 listen to the Cubs nightly.
I'm Mike North for the Village of Rosemont. From the 9th largest convention center to restaurants to theaters, sports venues, and hotels. 5 minutes from O'Hare, you got it all here. Rosemont, you can't miss it.
Hey, speaking of radio, I talked about this earlier with Aim, and she's never heard it, but I'll have to find it. Do you remember the night that Tony La Russa, when he was the manager of the White Sox, along with Leland, went right up to the broadcast booth because they wanted a piece of Harry and Jimmy Pearsall?
Well, no, here's what happened, too. Jimmy Pearsall at, I believe it might have been WIND at the time. I believe it might have been the flagship, the mother nipple, if you will. They went, him, Charlie Lau, and Jim Leland went to the Hancock building looking for Jimmy Pearsall, who had a show, I believe, on WIND. Uh-huh. They waited for him. They were going to beat his brains in. It was like a thuggery thing. They went to the Hancock building. They had some issues at the ballpark, but they went to the Hancock building, maybe after a night of libation on Rush Street. Who knows? And they waited for Pearsall. That's a mistake to wait for Jimmy Pearsall. Because Jimmy Pearsall was ready for him, and I guess they had to break it up and everything.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that awesome?
That was in the young ruffian days of Anthony La Russa.
You know, I have plenty of tape on Harry and Steve Stone, the years at Wrigley, but I would love to have more tape of Harry with Jimmy Pearsall on the South Side.
Well, I have Harry Carey. I have one piece of tape from Harry when he admitted to me, if you guys would like to hear it, it's about 30 seconds, when he was drunk on the air. And how did he do it? Let's take a quick listen, real quick.
Let me just say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to have, everybody says how many games I broadcast, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know the number of games I was really blind.
Hey, Harry,
out of my mind, hard to keep my eyes open.
Hall of Fame announcer admitting he didn't even remember doing some games. How about that, John?
God, I miss him. He was so fun, that guy.
Wasn't he? He was the best. And Harry and we became close because he had found out he was a high school dropout. This wasn't something we were proud of, but I was a high school dropout. We became close. He did it on my TV show a couple times, used to come on the radio. But the way that he just come out, because there was no threat to him at that point.
Sure. Well, he was bigger than the team. He was bigger than the team for a lot of those years.
Oh, my God. They had the statue on the corner. They finally moved it down, but they moved it right by his beloved bleachers. Great guy. Great guy.
Mike, thanks so much. Always great having you on.
Take care of yourselves.
Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, Mike North, AM 560, WIND. It was cool that he had that Harry clip ready to go. It's 7:53 now.
I'm Mike North for the Village of Rosemont. From the 9th largest convention center to restaurants to theaters, sports venues, and hotels. 5 minutes from O'Hare, you got it all here. Rosemont, you can't miss it.